Good afternoon, darlings. So I've come back to you because we do have this full moon coming up, pink full moon. And officially for me in France, it's the 24th, early in the morning, but it's also the 23rd for other places. So we'll come to that in a second. Today is the 21st of April. 2024. Yesterday we had the great conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus. So we have the most incredible weather since I last spoke to you. The bluest sky. Yesterday we still had a few clouds of the fading reminiscences of the clouded skies, and today there is not a single cloud, and most of France is woke up to freezing cold. It's cold because the sky is clear, but they're making a big point of this, that the sun should enter Aries on the 18th, and that we have this pure sky, and it's cold. So that is that mixing energy of Mars that rules water and fire. That is the energy of Scorpio. That's the energy of Scorpio. Mars rules Aries and Scorpio. So if you mix the two powers of Mars, Aries, the sun entered Mars, and the power of the female that Mars carries in Scorpio. And we're going to be talking today about Salome and the death of John the Baptist. John the Baptist of the Four Corners represents Scorpio. And as you know, Ophiuchus kills Scorpio. Scorpio should become the new MC. And we have, after this great conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus, we have the entry of Uranus into Taurus, where Uranus is in detriment. And that will be opposite Scorpio, where Uranus would be normally exalted. So I wanted to keep my windows open so you could hear the breeze and the dingle dangles, but the sound of Honey's snoring from in the garden, it's so loud that I can't focus. So yeah, poor Honey. I've been going backwards and forth from vets. I went back to the homeopathic vets after the normal vet x-rayed her lungs and her throat passage, but there was nothing there. But I don't think he x-rayed her nose. And my homeopathic vet, although he's already examined her 6 months ago, says that it's the nose. So even if the normal vet says it's the heart, we've got to go back and check this nose. I think maybe having played football, that the heavier balls could have banged onto her nose. It's not just the heart making such a loud noise. So today, 5 years ago, on the 21st of April, we had Easter Day, and it was 5 days after the 15th. The falling of Notre Dame was the 15th of April. And on the 21st, my dog Appy was sacrificed. At the moment they killed the 8 bulls, and so today I'm thinking very much of him, my beautiful Happy. He died as Mars was on Aldebaran in Taurus, just as for the floods in New Zealand when Mars was on Aldebaran first for the death of the Queen, and then he retrograded, and when he came back to Aldebaran, that's when we had the floods. And we've just had floods in Saudi Arabia. That's the other piece of information that I hadn't got ready because I've just spent 3 hours, thinking that was going to be a quick little video, but obviously there's just so much to mention. So Saudi Arabia, flood Saudi Arabia. Fact check to the watch everyone sweep cars away in Saudi Arabia. So that's sweeping away Mercury. Consent. Mercury was, so April the 21st, published April the 21st. So the fertility God, water, the water, that energy of Mars is about to enter into Pisces, and that is going to be really, really aggressive. So let's see. Very extreme floods and floods. When was it exactly? What day was it? Floods in Saudi Arabia, unprecedented storm floods Dubai's airports. 2024, when heavy thunderstorms lashed in the United Arab Emirates on Tuesday, dumping the heaviest rain ever recorded in the country in the span of several hours. So what they're making the desert, they're getting back their green, their fertility, issued on the 17th of the 4th, 2024. Okay, so tribute to Happy today, and tribute to my cats, Punky and Floyd. They were born on the 21st of April, which is incredible. Happy was born on the 29th of March 2012, year of the dragon. He's a Pisces, and he died on the 21st of April 2019. And interesting, because I was only meant to get honey in 2012, and the people who bred Happy and Honey, HH, because in France you have to name your dogs with the year, so it was the year H. So I was going to do Hugo and Hippie, but Happy and Honey just seemed so pure. So I went for Honey, and the person who bred them was an old farmer, and he lived with a Russian wife, and the Russian wife took over breeding border collies that he had for his sheep. And they said to me, look, I have a portée, I have a litter of puppies, and there's one dog left, and he'd been sitting in a horrible conditions in this kind of concrete cage for 6 months. And he said, you can have him for 150 instead of 350. And my heart, this poor dog. So I went home with Honey and Happy. And Honey was the tiniest, scruffiest, thinnest little thing full of fleas. And Happy, her older brother, was, Happy was a lot, was very, very thin. Border collies are always very thin when they're young. He said to me, he's a much better breed. He was the most incredible dog. He ran so fast. Very much like I always called Happy Louis, and I always called Honey Chloe, my subconscious mind. And since I've lost Happy, it's funny because my subconscious mind, I always called Knack, name of my grandson, Hux, my first grandson. But just before Happy died, my son was 33 that year, and I had been so worried that something was going to happen to my son, and something happened to my dog. I subconsciously called the name of my son. I mean, my dogs obviously took over the whole of not having my children anymore. So interesting is that in 2020, when I decided to get a kitten, Floyd, the same thing happened. Day before Floyd should have been dropped off, they said, there's another cat that should have been given to somebody, a little black and white cat like Happy, a very quirky, funny, curious, naughty little pussycat that became Punky, Pink Floyd, so it went from pink to punk. And he was born on the day that Happy died, 4 years, 1 year after the death of Happy in 2020. So, and it's funny because Punky's been running around as if he's been stung by bees today. I don't know what's going on with him. it's something in the electrical energy of this sky and this breeze. But I'm just walking around in awe. I mean, it's cold. A week ago it was so hot here. I was swimming in the water. This week I'm just paddled in the water because of this cold breeze, and it's apparently going to freeze tomorrow. So this is the Saudi Arabian energy. The newspapers today, we have MBS everywhere, Mohammed's MBS Salman, and I'm going to be talking to you about Salomé, the story of, so I've got so much open here, so much. Medusa, Saudi Prince, MBS, the lyrics of Salome. In Christian mythology, Salome was the daughter of Herodias and stepdaughter of Herod Antipas, ruler of Galilee in Palestine. Her infamy comes from causing St. John the Baptist's execution. So we're going to be coming to the story of this. So this is exactly like in my past videos. I have been explaining to you about Medusa, and they put that statue up of, instead of Pegasus slaying Medusa, Medusa slays Pegasus, so Mars. So this is what's coming up. This is the birth of La Marianne, and this is where the full moon is. So the full moon is at 1:28 in Ush. So you just saw here 15 is the devil cards in tarot, and I've shown you this glass wall, just ridiculous. So there we go, northeast, southwest, D'Artagnan's journey, and this is a high walled, I mean futuristic glass walled city. Futuristic glass walled city images. So this, I mean, look at that. I had better pictures. Why Saudi Arabia is built. Look, it's just, you'll be stuck inside. It's, as I said, it's the Venus project. It's the French Venus project. That Saudi Arabia was being built completely on this Venus project of the green god. So the flooding to Saudi Arabia, bringing in the green. This is going to be the kingdom of the new king of the four corners. That's why in Saudi Arabia they have the frame, Dorian Gray's golden frame, the golden fleece, golden Saudi Arabia golden frame. There it is, this big frame. So this is as in the keeper of the four corners. I mean, I've just got so much to show you. This is just ridiculous. How on earth? Saudi prince. So he is Mr. Teapot Cozy. Sagittarius is the teapot constellation. Is the teapot constellation. There is the teapot. And this is the Sultans of Swing, the Arabian Nights, and this is what I told you. We've got the conjunction under the beheaded Algol. What do they do in Saudi Arabia? They behead. And who gets beheaded? St. John, Christ. So I have an enormous amount of posts since I last spoke to you 3 days ago. There is the box, the Mecca, the cross. This is why the Orthodox Jews, they wear the Saturn box, the Jack in the box, the number 13, 15, 16, 21, 22. See those numbers? So there is the beheaded, there is the Christ in the middle of the four corners, the four evangelists. There's Salome with St. John. So John the Baptist is JB, Boaz Jachin, they're the pillars. She is in the tarot world card 21. Today we're the 21st, 777, and Mercury's retrograde 21 days. So there is the statue that spent 6 months in New York, which I've covered a lot, which was because of where Mars was, and I would have to go back, and it was, so you've got the 4 fixed stars, Regulus, Fomalhaut, Aldebaran, and Taurus. This is the feminine axis. The sun is now in Taurus. So look, we've got 15 here. 15 degrees at 15. Well, there you go. 15 degrees of Taurus is Aldebaran. 15 degrees of Scorpio is Antares. And this is what we've had in France. A 15-year-old minor allegedly stabbed another young teenager 1 or 3 times. So this happened in Auch on the day that Mars entered, the sun entered Aries. Look, they show you apartment blocks with scaffolding. This is very symbolic. So that 15-year-old boy in Auch, where the lion gates are, and a big story which is all the front newspapers today about and this happened in VC. It happened in a 15-year-old boy has died after he was badly beaten in a town south of Paris. And there are your 15-year-old cases. 15 and 15 is 6-6, which is 6996. PB P16, B2, the summer solstice, 216. And, you know, really the new summer winter should be Scorpio Taurus, and the new spring fall should be Aquarius Leo, masculine axis. So because the sun has now moved into Taurus for the summer solstice, they're attacking Scorpio opposite already. That's why I told you there's going to be the second. This is when Saudi Arabia will really be brought in. The next double eclipses are going to be, is it what? It's 2025 to 2037, or you know, it's exactly the same numbers, days I've showed you in past videos. But so we've got 215, 15, 15, which is exactly what we just saw here. 15, 15, 6, 10, that makes 16. The royal stars. So Scorpio, so in that story, Salome, she presents on a silver tray the head of John the Baptist. So he never gets to rise from a Scorpio to an eagle again. My village is called Aigle. That's why I'm always showing you the song of Barbara. There was somebody, Barbara, in the newspapers, that are the new French Barbara, Aigle Noir. I always show you that. L'Aigle, AIG. My village is AIG, and then Nan, Inanna. Aigle, the egg. What does Puss in Boots do? What does Puss in Boots do? Puss in Boots kills the egg. The egg. So that's D'Artagnan. So here you've got those 2 dogs, Canis Minor, Canis Major. Orion, he's going to take the fertility of Scorpio. And killing the Scorpion standing. So that's the Golden Gate, and the Silver Gate is Louis. That's why we had the eclipse in the heart of it was in St. Louis. It's the Silver Gate. So the belly dancing, that's the stomach, that's Cali. seducing. And here you've got the four corners, the keeper of the four corners. You've got Matthew, Aquarius. What are the four again? And I'll show you in a minute. Choleric, sanguine, melancholic, phlegmatic. So dry and hot, air and fire, masculine and feminine, melancholic and phlegmatic is cold and wet. So wet, melancholic, and cold, phlegmatic. Four humours, four weddings and a funeral. We've got the girl in the middle of the four boys this time. She's taking the place of Jesus, all for one and one for all. The four horsemen, it's the same thing. And there is today, 21, the girl. She's got hold of the two pillars, JB, BJ. So all in the French newspapers today. There's somebody called... La Dépêche, somebody called JB. I've got the photos. So this is the big thing, the knockdown of delinquents. I wanted to take pictures for you, but it was too complicated. Look, we've got this girl. We look at this D'Artagnan man with he's called Dionysus. Olivia Ruiz. It's always him with his moustache. We can't open the newspaper, can I? I can't open. So there's Nouvelle aujourd'hui. Nouvelle aujourd'hui. France Actualité. France Info. S'il est majeur. Oh look, we got another 69. Stop le 69. Of course, it's the PB. War in the Middle East. Football is rising. This is Baal. It's all about Mercury, Mars and Venus. Mercury rules Gemini, Mars rules Aries, Venus rules Taurus. Those are the three signs for the war, for the summer winter axis. You go through those tropics for the summer winter. You get Gemini, so cars. Okay, let's put politics. France Info, politics. Okay, just as I was looking what I was looking for again, football, Saudi Arabia, organizer of the 2034 World Cup, an astonishing alliance with the FIFA. Saudi Arabia is expected to host the FIFA World Cup in 2034. Well, that is big. That is when that last eclipse, and that's exactly what I just said to you. It will be then that the Golden Gate, the new green god, Saudi Arabia, gets crowned, because this is Baal. This is Baal worship. Okay, I forgot I bought all the newspapers, Jordan, Barbella, just to take pictures to show you, but I didn't. So European elections, Jordan Bardella. So here's your JB, John the Baptist, and he is Jordan Bardella, 23 years old. So we got that 5 again. And he's up against a woman. So this is going to be the Salomé, seduced by its new president. Here we go, Marine Le Pen. He became responsible for the FN Federation of Seine-Saint-Denis, his native department. For a time he led the defunct Banlieue Patriote to defend the forgotten people of the Republic, and was elected regional councillor for Île-de-France. So we've got this, if Jordan, so the Jordan, the Nile, the Jordan, Barbella, the Barbarella, Barbella. So Jordan, Barbella and Marine Le Pen. Images. Okay. So yeah, absolutely there's La Marianne, and isn't her daughter, so it's the Front National for the 2027. This is, so there we go. That is the story. That is the story. So there is your medulla oblongata in the middle of the two temples. There she is, the statue that was up for just 6 months in New York. The sculpture honors the Me Too movement. And Tina Turner, I've covered, she was always, and so this Manda Fatima, which is the jellyfish, it is your diaphragm, it's the dome, it's the eye. Is this the eye of your dome, your jellyfish, your solar plexus, or above the third eye? Is it the Kali or below the belt? Are you ruled by the Taurus, food, the flesh, the seduction, the sex? That makes the Medusa, the diaphragm, or do you open the true third eye, the Manda Fatima? You know, could you rise to the higher energies of Venus or the lower energies of Venus? So Venus is exalted currently in Pisces still. Venus is exalted in Pisces, and Jupiter, the ruler, has been conjunct. So Venus is going to be, for this full moon, right in, let's just go back to now. Let's go back to now. Okay, so since I spoke to you on the 18th. So on the 18th, we had this conjunction of Mercury and Venus on the 19th. So Mercury rules Virgo, where the tail of the snake, the south node is right now, and Mercury rules Gemini. So for mainstream astrology, don't forget they've got this conjunction going on here on Orion. But this is the true, this is the Red Bull. Who has just won in China? The Max guy, Max. So I'll be showing you all this, but this is I am Max. I am Max. Jupiter is at full expansion, maximum in I am Aries. I am Max. And also we're going to be looking at, there was this stabbing in Australia, Mad Max. Yeah, so much has been going on. So Venus is exalted. She's next to Mercury, who is blinded. He's less blind. He's still going backwards. So today, the 21st, still retro, and then he will be going stationary for the full moon. So this is really important. He's about to go stationary, and Mars, oh my God, Mars is going to be in Pisces for the full moon. Okay, this is enormous, because what I was just showing you, the full moon is in Virgo, and the sun is in Aries. The sun is in Aries, so that full moon is at 1:48. Is it 1:48? Let's stop the clock. No, why are you still moving? Right, just because I did that again. 24, 1, 48. Okay, so Saturn, Mars will be still in Aquarius for the full moon. So you see the moon is still in Virgo. The moon is 100% full. And then the moon and Mars, the moon will move into Libra, ruled by Venus. Venus is exalted, and Jupiter, the ruler, is still conjunct to Uranus in I am. I am. This is Judaism, and this is Islam, and this is the merging of them both, the Christianity, the decapitation of, you know, the end of Europe. The end of Europe. We've got this merging here. Orthodox probably coming in. I see the world power as America and Russia. Orthodox. That's why you've got the Amish people, or the Amish people in America, the little house on the prairie. It's Russian Orthodox. And there's an Islamic touch to it. There's the lunar energy, which is coming into that Christianity energy, and Judaism will also have, and China and India, so Hindu, Vedic energy in Asia, and Saudi Arabia bang in the middle. Yeah, this is the changing of the guards. That's what we had, the changing of the guards. We had the French at Buckingham Palace. So Venus, Mars will Aquarius, and then Mars will move in at 5 o'clock in the morning, and Jupiter's not going to move in till May into Taurus. So Mars, the ruler, Mercury is still retrograde, the ruler of Virgo. So we'll see this on the chart. Let's go and have a look on the chart. So pink moon, 24th of April, 1:48. No, we don't want PM. It's 1:48 AM. So they've got it in Libra here, when that moon is actually in La Marianne, rising La Marianne. It's still in Virgo at 5 AM. It moves into Libra at 11 o'clock in the morning, and it will be 99.8. So there will be people that say it's in Libra, people that say it's in Virgo, but for me, we've got Mercury rules Virgo, Venus rules Libra. It's the do-si-do between Mercury and Venus. Venus exalted and little Mercury lost, drowning in the sea, the ruler of Virgo. So bringing up a more dominant Venus, taking back the power of exalted Venus, working with the sun in Aries, and Mars, the ruler, is also going to be entering. But for that actual full moon, Mars is still going to be in Aquarius. So the true God, the home of Saturn, and then Mars moves into the home of Jupiter, and Jupiter is still in Aries. And this is when things are going to start getting crazy. Mars in Pisces. I think, I haven't looked myself, but I saw that JP Jodie Patry was talking about the charts of the Israeli and the Irani president, and they both have a sun and a moon. They both have North Node in Pisces, like me. Pisces, so Jupiter, the ruler of Pisces. I saw a quote, and this is absolutely the energy, a quote of a horseman, and it's absolutely, anyone who's ridden horses will know this, but any fear, if you have fear on a horse, the horse will take you to hell. They're not going to trust you. The horse has to trust you. They have to feel that you are the master leading them. So if there's any fear, Jupiter will take you to hell. And if you are able to have your correct dreams and you've got the discipline of Saturn, you've got those two fingers together, Jupiter and Saturn, the tall horse will take you to heaven. So look at that full moon. We've got the whore of Babylon, the moon moving between Mercury and Venus, ruler of Libra. We've got the tail in Virgo. We've got the head conjunct to little Mercury retrograde and the key and Venus. So Venus and Mercury next to the head and Chiron, the rulers of where the full moon is. And Mars just entering Pisces conjunct to Neptune, Poseidon. So, you know, this is all that we thought we were leaving after the 21 days of Mercury retrograde. We now have got this passage of Mars in Pisces. Mars is, and this is what can bring up, because Mars rules Scorpio, water. You can bring up that Saudi Arabian energy in this Pisces, in the waters, in the floods, in those floods that we just had, giving that energy to the sun, exalted in Aries, ruled by Mars, of fire and water, the king of fire and water. Mars is in the waters of the womb, and the fertility was given to Saudi Arabia. So Pluto is square to the sun. We've got a little semi-square between Pluto and Saturn. So you see Gemini, Taurus and Aries, Mercury, Venus and Mars. And opposite Sagittarius is Jupiter, Mars and Venus. So Mars and Venus with Jupiter, and with Mercury, Venus and Mars. And this is what's been crowned now. There's Silver Gate, the head of John the Baptist on the silver plateau. And then for 2034, this gap between Sagittarius and Scorpio, Ophiuchus, Orpheus energy. Okay, let's go through the posts. So there, look, the Godmother and Salome. So this is from yesterday. We are at full expansion. I am Aries, Max, Jupiter in Aries. Jupiter, Uranus conjunct under Algol, now in Aries, I am. Today, the 20th of the 4th, is 4224. You ignite the lamp, PB, BP, the jinn or the genie. Uranus was in the same spot in 1940. 84 years later, Jupiter, the Empire, Zeus, sits next to Uranus, Genius, Genie, Gene of Isis, the spot X between Is and Ra, to ignite L, Hell, 7337, L, Vesica Pisces passage. The Devil's Comet, Paddy Bear, PB, BP, sits conjunct just in Taurus for this conjunction. The Vesica Pisces is a type of lens, a mathematical shape formed by the intersection of two discs with the same radius, intersecting in such a way that the center of each disc lies on the perimeter of the other. So that is yesterday, the great conjunction, which was apparently cannabis culture, CC. So the cane of Abyss. So I've been telling you about the book written about my village called Abbey Pierre, the stone, the Stein, the Einstein, Rodolph Stein, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. That's Red Bull. There's Algol, and this is the dragon, the eagle, the phoenix should rise. Scorpio, get through the hell, the fires, the water and fire. The seal of Jupiter, Zeus, Jupiter. Jupiter symbol is that 2/4, 20th of the 4th, 2024. So expansion, full expansion is maximum. I am at max. Jupiter, here he is, Leon da Vinci, when he's at max, that man is at max. We're at the end of Pisces, and we've got Mars about to enter Pisces, the ruler of Aries. So probably the time that Mars is in Pisces, by the time Mars comes out, let's watch that. Mars enters Pisces, and Mars will be in Pisces. Mars enters Aries on the 13th, on the 12th, on the 11th, up on the 6-9. Well, there you go, BPPB. Mars enters Aries, and on that day we're going to have Mercury on Aldebaran, and we're going to have Jupiter in Taurus. Jupiter enters Taurus in May, so everything's going to go wild as Mars is in Pisces, and then the deal's done by the time Mars enters Aries. And you've got Instagram, it's there. You've got Venus in Taurus, Sun in Taurus, Mercury in Taurus, Jupiter in Taurus, and Uranus Uranus is in Taurus. Uranus enters Taurus on the in 1 month from now, exactly, on the 21st. On the 24th. So 1 month from the full moon, Uranus enters, and then Mars. Yeah, this is going to be, this is for the bull gods. Venus, the ruler, at home, conjunct to Jupiter. What a month we have coming up. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, I was showing Ponce Brooks. So there's Ponce Brooks on that Y of Taurus. The doctors, what's that thing called they put between their ears and listen to the heart? Well, Ponce Brooks is right on the tail. It's right there, just in Taurus. The 2442. And Max just won the Chinese Grand Prix. Full expansion. Isn't that John the Baptist as well? Who gets hung up? And that's St. Andrew's cross. Does St. Andrew hung upside down? Crucifixion of St. Andrew. Right, that's the Scottish St. Andrew's cross. And now we've got Spider-Man. We've got Baal, aluminium and barium. Spider-Man making his chemtrails, and he leaves his big cross everywhere to create rain. To create rain, to take the role of Inanna. To take the role of Inanna. So there is, so they keep talking about this aeroplane missing, MH, M is 13, H is 8, that makes 21, that's today, and the aeroplane is 3773. So this is the passage 7, 8, 9, 10, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 10, XX, and the Vesica Pisces of Pisces. So again, gather ye up the 14 pieces of Osiris. You can read that. That's Lars. showing the fifth element when you get everything lined up. So Jupiter, full expansion, 24, the JJ, Solar Lunar, the sun and the moon. Sun and the moon should merge, but we're being, they're putting in the clamp in the Pac-Man to make the sigil, the Lucifer sigil. Okay, we've seen all that. Israel. So again, you've just got 7, 7, 4 sevens. Adidas bans Germany from adding the 4 on team kits. And that is it. It's just the 4 sevens. The 4 sevens of the Big Dipper. The ZZZ. Here is the genie coming out. It's exactly what happened yesterday. So everyone's been saying happy 4/2. A friend told me this yesterday. Thank you, Lucy. This is about the cannabis culture thing. Happy cannabis culture 420, which I knew nothing about. So this is this cannabis culture posting for me, so I remember to talk about this in next video. The Green Man Cannabis, Cane of Apis, CC33, CBBC, so cannabis, CBBC, 3223, 24. So that is my postcode, the 32 or 3223, but I'm in the whole of the Gers is under 32. That's why in 2019, just before the beginning of COVID, they actually pulled down the number 23 house. They pulled down, and this stabbing that we see is in 4:30 p.m. Jean-Marie Villain, the bad villain. Jupiter, Mercury, JM. Here we go. Viry-Châtillon. So VC. We've gone from CV 322 to 223, which is BBC. V is 22 or BB 22, and C is 3. So we're now fully in VC. From Corona and Victor to Valentine and Cupid. Masculine axis, Sagittarius and Gemini. So 6336. They haven't stopped talking about in the newspapers about 36 million Gemini and Virgo, or 36 million Peugeot. Vincent Serossi, the patron of Persian Citroën, is paid 36. Here we go. 36.5 million euro salary for the boss of Peugeot and Citroën. That was out on the 16th. So yeah, it's just always telling you about the wheel. And to create the coming wars, to create the French Republic. And we also had on the day of the eclipse, the Saudi crown prince on a diplomatic and cultural visit to Paris. Saudi crown prince Mohammed bin Salman. So the Salaman, sal is dirty, bad in French, man. It's also salt. Sal, salt, man, is welcomed by Prime Minister Edward Philip. Saudi Crown Prince Salman gave his official visit to Paris on Monday, so on the day of the eclipse. In the explosive, so he's 32 years old. There's your CBBC, my region, and he's nicknamed MBS. So there was a big article in the newspaper today about a book that's just come out called MBS in France. We're at the Matignon Hotel, Mart, and they've been talking about macaroni Macaroni, which is the same in the American Revolution, Yankee Doodle, macaroni. This is the time, axis of regional policy, which do not narrative of those. So Saudi Arabia doesn't accept any other religion. I mean, so yeah, just whilst we're there looking, we have the Black Prince. So also on the day of the eclipse, they bring out that they're going to show in the Gers the story of the Black Prince. So the Imperial Knights at the Chateau Bouscat on April the 9th to announce the next Imperial Knights. The Black Prince, Bruno Spicer, would take up the challenge of presenting this dark and tragic character whose life is a Shakespearean enigma, because it is a tragic Edward of Woodstock, Prince of Wales, nicknamed the Black Prince, born in 1330 and died in 1376 without having reign. The devastation and massacres that he committed in Aquitaine and throughout the southwest, as far as Narbonne and beyond during the 100 Years' War. So that's all where I am. And they're going to do a play on him on Friday the 12th, Saturday the 13th, and Sunday the 14th of July, Bastille Day, Cutting Off Heads Day. So back to this. So 20th of April, Appy Day, Abba, Lion, Inor, Zion, Horizon, Putin, New Horizon Line, Rasputin, Rastafari, Jupiter, Mars, Sun. Rastafari, sometimes called Rastafarism, is an Abrahamic religion that developed in Jamaica during the 1930s. It is classified as both a new religious movement and a social movement by scholars of religion. There is no central authority and control of the movement, and much diversity exists among practitioners who are known as Rastafari, Rastafarians, or Rastas. So Rasputin was a Russian mystic and holy man. He is best known, so Ra on the Putin, Mars on the horizon. He is best known for having befriended the imperial family of Nicholas II, the last emperor of Russia, through whom he gained considerable influence in the final years of the Russian Empire. Apis, in ancient Egyptian religion, sacred bull deity worshipped at Memphis. So Memphis, Elvis plays Memphis. We had on the weekend of the eclipse, who did we have in my friend's run, Camping D'Artagnan? Elvis singer came and sung his pants off. Everyone loved it. I'm sure it was fantastic. I'm sure there's nobody's aware at the Bull's Heads. So they're my friends. It's lovely that we have that. We have a lovely place to go and hang out. So Elvis, evil, came and sang on the day of the eclipse, the day before the Sunday. Saturday and the Sunday, he was there. So that's all just about Ras. So 420 cannabis culture, Wikipedia, the Green Man, statue of Louis Pasteur at Saint Raphael High School. In 1971, five high school students in San Rafael, California, used the term 4-2 in connection with a plan to search for an abandoned cannabis crop. So the cane of Abbey, the can is the sugar cane. That's why Willy Wonka always has his sugar cane in Abbey, Abyss. That's why I've been talking to you in all those videos, these recent videos about Abbey. Abbey, the cane, the can of Abbey. 420 is 42, the Paris Olympics logo. Vancouver, gathering civil, so you know they've got all this wars going on in Marseille for the drug traffic, and they're saying that it should be legal, and yeah, they're bringing in the cane of Abbey, Can Abbey. So up, there's the steeple. I took that picture 1 year apart, so same blue. These are the blue skies we have always for the arrival of the sun in Aries. So this is what the post I did just after I did the last video. So I go into my local cafe and I can't believe it, because who is there waiting for me in my village Enyon cafe? So as you know, Enyon Count is the 5-pointed star. So we are the 5-pointed star, we are the North Polaris, and we've got PB Paddington Bear right now, Ponce Brooks. So Ponce Brooks, the man who found Ponce Brooks, is from Marseille, and Marseille is Devil's Comet, Ponce Brooks, Wikipedia. So William Robert Brooks, of course, another William, Jean-Louis Ponce, again, Jacob's Ladder, JL, Justice League, JL Cut, Marseille. So this is where we've got at the moment Mars. So Marseille is where we've got all the drug trafficking going for the cannabis, the new cane of Abbey. William is always the name of William Tell. He was all on the radio this morning talking about Alexandre Dumas, and at the same time as William Tell, and it was William that wrote Hudson J. Hudson William or whatever, William Hudson J. Abbey Pierre. Images. J. William Hudson, this is it. So the book, I keep telling you. So here's the book, Abbey Pierre, J. William Hudson, and Ponce Brooks. The next passage is the 21st of April, so that's right now, with closest approach to Earth being 232 million kilometers. So that's your B, that's your 223322, but they put the 232. On the 2nd of June 2024, the comet is expected to brighten to about, so it's happening in Australia, 12p Ponce Brooks, right. So Paddington Bear is in Victoria Station, is the V for victory, where the sun was. So this is the 19th of April. You've got the red, blue. This is the torso of Taurus. It's the red, blue Torah, and there is, so this is showing you PB is 16.2, so 621, 16 is P and B is 2, summer solstice, PB is lead, the element lead, discovered in Marseille, 6 times 6 times 6, we're at the eye, we're at the passage, blue shift, red shift with green in the middle, energy green, that's why the Queen walks away wearing green, leading PB, the torso field, taking the torso, and there's the green man, BP, Ponce Brooks, Jupiter, the comet, the prism, red, blue, and the torso, the donut, the micro and the macro, the Mac on, the Mac in French is a pimp, the Mac on, Ron. So there we have, the total is a 703. We've got the 7-3 again. We've got, this is the Star of David, the triangle 73, 37, and triangle 19, and that is the day that Paddington Bear, the cornerstone, Paddington Bear turns up in my, so yeah, I just don't know what to say, because it's just in my funny little shabby bar, which I love going in there, but I mean, tame civilized people would be quite, you know, we've got Popeye in there, we've got the Marseille flags, we've got, you know, everything symbolic is in my, and I always have a wink and a laugh with the owner. But he wasn't there when I saw Paddington Bear. It was the person he works with, and she said that she put it there, and I told them that, wow, this is PB the comic coming, but nobody really listens to me. They don't get it. So 3773 is L, hell, and there is the plane, MH. MH is 13 plus 8 makes 21. That's today. And Devil Comet is going to be the closest to Earth today. Okay, so Poubelle, dustbin, Jack in the Box. There is the Poubelle coming out of the Jack in the Box. PB, Pooh Bear. So yeah, this is something I wanted to look at with you. So Aries. So Aries, the sun enters on the 18th and it leaves on the 14th of May. So for the summer solstice, for the 21st of the 6th, Taurus at 10:15, and at 10:16 it moves into Gemini. So we've now got a sharing of those 2 days between Taurus and Gemini. So I also just want to look, so we're looking at Lars's pictures and we're looking at the summer solstice. So where is Gemini and Taurus? So Taurus, the new land on the summer solstice, is over New Zealand. So this is where the Devil's Comet is right now, in Taurus, for the conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus. And then we have Pisces. So what's under Saudi Arabia at that time? Under Saudi Arabia, we're going to have Capricorn, Pluto. We've got SCorpiO, Europe. So Europe is what's going to get, Europe is, you know, what's going to get destroyed to bring up Scorpio in Europe, between Scorpio, so this, the green man on the summer solstice, it's going to come up here, and Orion is in New Zealand, and that's why I showed you Tauranga. Tauranga looks like, with the Mount Musi, it looks like, so Taurus is now here. So where's in France for the summer solstice is Scorpio. This is the summer solstice. Okay, so for the winter solstice, you see this is NASA. So the winter solstice is Aquarius and Capricorn, North South America. And then at that time, we've got Gemini and Taurus. The silver gate, the winter gate, is over Saudi Arabia. That gap is Saudi Arabia. So the winter solstice, Saudi Arabia, and then Scorpio and Libra. Scorpio Sagittarius that's Hawaii. Okay, right, so we move on. The North Pole, this Black Madonna, PB, lead. So look, it's a weight of 15 kilos. You got that the two Zs, the two sevens, the ZZ tops. And there is the 21st. We've got the sun on the wand of Orion. And look, that's 9999, 34. So Bay of Plenty, that is where the flooding was in New Zealand. BP, PB, Pooh Bear, Paddington Bear. And there's PB, Pooh Bell. 16th arrondissement. Venus cycle. Comet Brooks is having its last hurrah. Time is running out for you to spot Ponce Brooks, the devil-honoured comet that swoops into view once every 71 years, last visible to people on Earth in the 1950s. The comet is prone to outbursts or unexpected flares in brightness. So the comet, a green ball of ice, caught the attention of the public last July when it looked as if it had sprouted horns after an outburst through its dusty atmosphere. Right, so April the 8th, the seen during the total eclipse on air, but it was not visible, okay. So the comet versus the eclipse. And there it is on the 19th. When I made that post. There's your Merlion. And that was on the 19th. So we're going to have another look to end at the full moon. But I put here this song from Daryl Oates. What's it? Is it still there? No. Up. Okay, well. She'll only come out at night, the lean and hungry type. Nothing is new, I've seen her here before. Watching and waiting. Ooh, she's sitting with you. But I can't remember the how that goes with the music. Ooh, here she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Ooh, here she comes. She's a man-eater. Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a man-eater. It's a song that really marked my youth when I was 16. Like, why are you making a song like that? And in Christian mythology, Salome was the daughter of Herodas and stepdaughter of Herod Antipas, ruler of Galilee and Palestine. Her infamy comes from causing St. John the Baptist's execution. The saint had condemned the marriage of Herodias and Herod Antipas, as Herodias was the divorced wife of Antipas's half-brother Philip. Incensed, Herod imprisoned John, but feared to have the well-known prophet killed. Herodias, however, was not mollified by John's incarceration, and pressed her daughter Salome to seduce her stepfather Herod with a dance, making him promise to give her whatever she wished. At her mother's behest, Salome thus asked for the head of John. So Salome meaning female, meaning peace. Salome, also known as Salomito, was a Jewish princess, the daughter of Herod, son of Herod the Great, and princess of Herodias. And there she is with the heads. Wilde uses the moon as a multivalent symbol throughout Salome to represent the allure and danger of beauty. Nearly every character in the play comments upon the appearance of the moon when they first enter the scene. So it's the moon goddess, and the moon goddess is Pisces. And Pisces, so in tarot, so I was just looking at my notes and the moon, and I've got TSADDE, Hebrew letters, so that's 10, 15, that's 18, it's the 18th letter, which is And there is the Y. There is the Y of Taurus. And that's where Ponce Brooks was, right here. So Ponce Brooks for the full moon. Where is Stellarium, Ponce Brooks. Oh, yeah, that's not going to work like that. Stellarium Web. Stellarium Web. Off we go. Okay. Can you give me the whole screen, please? Thank you. Where's Ponce Brooks? Ponce Brooks? Where are you? There you are. Right, so where are you going to be on the full moon? 24, and let's put the constellations. So that Y up, Y, there we go, and the 18th tarot, 18th tarot, it's the moon. It's the moon. So why we got the fox and the dog? And why does the moon look like the sun? And there, exactly between the BJ pillars. So Virgo, Pisces. Virgo, Pisces. Venus in detriment in Virgo and exalted in Pisces. Okay, I did notice somewhere that we had that date again, 1896. May have been when one of these plays or something came out. So Wilde's play became the source of inspiration for Richard Strauss's one-act opera, also named Salome. First produced in 1905, Herod's lust for Salome is emphasized, which Salome uses to gain her wishes by performing the famous dance of the 7 veils. So this is very Kali, the moon, Cancer, all the water signs of the moon stars, the monsters. Salome in turn desires to have John the Baptist, a new interpretation of the original myth. In the end, the only way Salome may have any part of John, quite literally, meant that she must demand his head be given to her. Salome fulfills her passion by kissing the dead lips of John's decapitated head, who has previously rejected her. This new and more familiar version of Salome depicts her as a seductress of her stepfather and a murderer of a saint, thereby becoming a symbol of the erotic and dangerous woman, the femme fatale. So FF is 66. The nudes, Burne Jones. Okay, let's finish with looking at the new moon, at the full moon. So this full moon, it's officially Alpha Omega Aries Libra, but we see that the moon is actually, whenever we have this Aries, there is that, it's masculine, feminine. We've got the moon. So we go back to the 4th, we go back to the time, 1:48. So that moon is definitely in Virgo, and it's 100% when it's in Virgo. So Mercury rules Virgo, and Mercury is still drowning in the abyss. Venus is exalted. Venus, the ruler of where Jupiter and Uranus are about to enter as Mars enters Pisces. For the time that Mars is in Pisces, by the time he comes out, we will have Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus. The Sun is now exalted, so Mars rules Aries, where the Sun is, and Mars, the ruler, is going to be drowning in this water, fire and water, in Pisces. So Salome, the moon, Pisces. Mars is Pegasus, who cuts off the head. Here is Pegasus, Mars, that decapitates the monster. And this time we've got the full moon. The moon is in the Virgo girl, and Venus is considered, you've got the two sides. So this is really bringing out the two sides of this, again, just as with Jupiter and now Venus. What side, you know, what genie are you manifesting with this Jupiter Uranus? That's what I meant about that I can't find the quote that I saw, but it's basically, as I said, as a horse rider, the minute you let fear come in, your horse, you know, if you don't have I mean, many times fear is what drives you to focus and to concentrate. But there's, you know, Jupiter will only be as sincere as your authenticity. Jupiter picks up and changes depending on what you're carrying. I also saw a quote, which is very true, is that if somebody's nasty, if somebody does something really nasty, they can also pretend to be nice. But good people, nice people, they can't pretend to be nasty. So that is also a very Jupiter, very Pisces thing. You got the saint and the gangster. You can't pretend. You know, Mars in Pisces can be very emotional, very reactive, full of projection. But you either hold the kinder side of Jupiter or the darker side of Jupiter. And once Jupiter, you know, Jupiter in that fire, Mars, the ruler, he's going to become bipolar. Mars was in the true home of Aquarius, fixed, but he's going into the depths of that bipolar energy, and he enters as Mercury is still retrograde. So it's all about getting through these seas now until Mars comes through, and Mercury enters Aries. Why does it do that? Mercury enters Aries. It enters Aries on the 22nd, 21st, on the 19th, at the end of, coming up to the end of May. Okay, so we've got a big end of April and May ahead. Thank you for being patient with me, but I did just want to talk about that full moon. Should we just have another quick look at the chart? So, you know, really, we've still got everybody. We've really got the 7 heads. This is really 5. Yeah, we've got the visible planets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we've got the comet in there, the devil's comet as well. But this is the Whore of Babylon. This is Salome. This is Salome rising. Mercury and Venus that have been do-si-doing together. The rulers here next to the head of the snake. The beast. This is Medusa. Perseus. Mars saves Andromeda. Andromeda, he saves her from her own force. He takes He takes her. That's what AA is all about. You've got to get through that pain. You've got to get through on your own. You have to get out of addiction on your own. You can't have a crutch. You can't have a cane of abyss. You can't use a cane, a crutch, cannabis. You have to come through, and I'm happy that I am completely out. I'm all Pisces, and I had a good 30 years of my life smoking from the death of my mother when Saturn opened my 12th house until Saturn 30 years later opened my 12th house and I got out. So you got to get rid of your crutches, whatever they may be. Okay, darlings, all my love. See you soon. Bye.